Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Fantasy Football Scouts. As always, at Thursday lunchtime, Josh and I turn our attention to FanTeam. We'll be looking at the season-long game, how we're getting on, and the weekly monster game. Josh, winner of FanTeam last year. Never get bored of me saying that, do you? How are you?
No, mate. I really like it. Yeah, it's a nice thing.
Just think next year you're not going to have that title. You're going to be an ex when has been
former champion. Yeah,
former
like ridiculous.
champion. Yeah,
just
absolutely.
like no. I've got to win something else. I don't know what maybe like a ping pong competition or something like before then, so I can have.
Oh, please win a ping pong competition so I can introduce you. And it's world champion Josh Wooldridge, ping pong champion. That'd be so weird. You won NFL, didn't you? NFL Weekly.
Yeah, I won the monster game, so the equivalent for NFL on Sunday. Yeah, I mean,
do you even watch NFL?
I do. Like, so this season I've really got into it. So like I watch it. They do it really nicely on a Sunday night. They do like all the games on at the same time at 6 and 9, like the same as our like 3 p.m. Saturday thing for football. So like you can just watch it all in one basically. So I do that sometimes on a Sunday. Yeah. So
nice. How much you win? About 800 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about 800 quid. Nice. Yeah, I was thrilled to be honest because I'm an amateur in that game, so I was really happy with that one.
Because I'm playing like Elite Serien, for example, the Norwegian fantasy football game, and I haven't got a clue about anything, like any of the players, and I'm just awful at it. So to come into NFL from almost scratch this season and to win a weekly game like that it's pretty impressive. There's no way I could do that with Norwegian football.
It just shows how much of a luck box I am, to be honest, mate. I think more than anything, really.
Yeah, I think you're definitely a jammy sod.
Yeah.
Anyway, Norwegian and NFL fantasy aside, we are here to talk FanTeam. We always get comments in the chat being like, "This isn't normal FPL." No, it's not. It's FanTeam. It's different. It's a game that it's a separate game. You can play. You can pay to enter essentially, and there's like big prizes. Josh won the big prize last season, and we'll be talking through our season-long teams, which is the equivalent of that. But also we'll be talking about the monster game, which is like the weekly fantasy game you can get involved with as well. So the Gameweek 10 weekly monster is open. There's links in the description. There's a £1.62 entry point. There's a £10-ish entry point, and there's a £60 entry point. You can enter multiple teams. You can choose, different combinations of players, different captains, all of that stuff to try and win some money. Obviously, it is gambling. There's money involved, so gamble aware. Don't bet if you can't afford it. Don't bet, for any other reason other than some enjoyment, which is the most sensible way to play. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the weeklies. I haven't won anything yet. I don't think you have either. Have you? You probably won a couple of quid, surely.
Yeah, I haven't had a good finish yet. I haven't had sort of a top 5 or anything. That's what we're aiming for, right? As to win it, right? So,
yeah. Well, the trouble is you keep making us pick bloody Saar. So I swear to God, Josh, if you recommend Saar again this week, I'm gonna riot because he's just not delivering at all. Every week he ends up in our team. Every week he flops.
It's the derby of the two superstars this week. It's Saar against James Ward-Prowse in the fixtures. So
it is. Yeah, your boy's back. Back.
I don't know which way to go on that. It's like choosing between my two children or something. You know what I mean? Not that I've got any, but it's like I can't decide.
You wish they were your sons. I mean, you're gonna end up with both, aren't you?
Yeah, the opposition. Yeah, just go for both, and then you can't go wrong, can you? Really?
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to come back to the monster in a bit. Let's just check in with our season-long teams. So I actually had a decent week on one of my teams. I was playing catch-up with my others. So my main team, which is kind of doing okay, I just went for the safety of Salah. I had Foden in my side, Foster in goal, Trent, Rudiger, Diaz, Salah, Foden, Havertz I bought in, obviously didn't deliver. Ben Rama, Vardy, Antonio, Tony. But with Salah captain and Foden, I had a tasty little rank rise. I'm up to 2k in my main team, which I'm actually really happy with. All my other teams, I tried to be a bit different. I went for Havertz captains, I went for Antonio captains, and the less said about them, the better. My second best team is 10k, and then our team is 15k. Our late reg team is 19k. And then my Jadon Sancho team, where I just have Sancho captain every week, is 20k, which is my 5th best team. So I mean, that sums up everything other than my one team that's doing well. We're massively falling. We're doing rubbish in the team we're doing together. Absolutely rubbish.
Yeah, did we not end up with Salah captain on that one, or like was it like differentials and all of these other ones by the looks of it?
Oh, let's take a look. I think we went differential. I don't think we talked about Salah captain, did we? We went for. Got a horrible feeling. No, we did have Salah captain.
Oh, right. Well, we got something right then.
Yeah, we had Salah captain, but yeah, didn't get. Oh god, we had Veltman. Oh god, we bought in Christensen. Who didn't? Oh, we had Azpilicueta and Christensen. Neither
I
of
think
which
that's
played.
just really unlucky. Do you? I think that is really unlucky on that particular double up. I think to get neither is like.
Oh, we'll come on to our team later. Our team was, apart from Salah, was absolutely horrid. Oh god, it's awful to even look at. Yeah, we'll come back to that in a sec. Let's take a look at your team. So your team had Raya in goal, Van Dijk, Rudiger, Cancelo, Salah captain, Diego Jota, St Maximan, your best mate Sarr, well maybe second best mate after Ward-Prowse, Antonio, Tony, and Ronaldo still hanging around. You're up to 1.4k, which is very good. Your other teams that were doing well, you've got one 3k, one at 5.7k, one at 7.4k, and then your sort of fifth best team is 11k. So you've got quite a lot of teams in and around, the top 5k. So I say it's every week, but you must be happy with this start.
Yeah, it's definitely a long-term project. Like I went Salah captain on every team. I'm sort of trying to chip away slowly. It's never going to be like I'm never going to get really a big rank boost unless literally everyone returns. You know what I mean? Because I've got quite a few like highly owned players here, but I'm really I'm happy with the start, as you said. Like I can't be not happy. I don't think. So yeah. Obviously, I had on this team that is on the screen, I had Christensen, Azpilicueta in this one as well. So I think I ended up with some auto sub of like Sarr. I think, no, the two auto subs I got on this team, I got Van Dijk and Jota off the bench.
Oh, that's horrid.
Because I benched them. I just thought, Man United, I think United will score. And then Ronaldo had one disallowed, to be fair. But other than that, it was a total demolition, wasn't it, to be honest? I was really lucky with Jota and Van Dijk off the bench, so I cannot lie about that.
Who do they come in for then? Christensen and...
Azpilicueta, yeah. So like I had to play them two against Norwich at home, I thought, but then I should have benched Sarr. I think looking at this, really, I think Sarr. I was too loyal. You've
got your blinkers on with Sarr. Yeah. You really have. Yeah, interesting. What's your plans sort of going forward then for this team? Is there anyone you're eyeing up?
I've got to get rid of the goalkeeper, unfortunately, because he's out for 4 or 5 months, isn't it? Yeah. I've got the reserve goalkeeper on the bench who has gone out on loan somewhere else. So I think
that's unfortunate.
Obviously, when you're picking it in game week 1, you can only go on like who you think is the second choice goalkeeper. You know what I mean? But even then, he might have been already out on loan. I think so. That was just a faux pas on my part, I think. But I just need to do a goalkeeper transfer. At the moment, I've got Tony and Sarr on the bench in this team.
Okay.
So I think like I don't need sort of an outfield change as of this week, but I definitely need to sort the goalie because I don't have one.
So you won't be moving for like Mount, Foden, kind of these popular guys that a lot of people are getting in. You're just gonna have to make the most boring transfer ever.
Yeah, I have to. I don't think I'm gonna like hit Jota to one of the Chelsea mids. I don't think, or one of the City mids. So, and I can't afford Sarr to one of them. So I think like those would be my 2 routes. So unfortunately, I have to stick to it till I move Ronaldo out, I think, and get some money into midfield, I think.
Very interesting. Okay, well, let's turn our attention to the Monster game. Like I said, the fixtures are on the screen at the moment. Let me just get the game up and then we can start. So fixtures. So the early game is never included in the Monster, just to give everyone a bit more time. So Arsenal, Leicester's out. So the games this week are Burnley, Brentford, Liverpool, Brighton, City, Palace, Newcastle, Chelsea, Watford, Southampton, Spurs, United, Norwich, Leeds, Villa, West Ham, Wolves, Everton. Obviously, the 3 best teams in the league have 3 good-looking games on paper. Liverpool against Brighton, City against Palace, and Chelsea v Newcastle. I'm guessing that's going to form the crux of our squad, but I'm guessing they're going to be very highly priced.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're all at 3 p.m. actually. All these 3 key fixtures that we're probably going to be getting a lot of our players from. So yeah, we'll have to get off to a good start, I think. Otherwise, there's no chance we'll win, I don't think. So yeah, hopefully the 3 o'clocks go well. Yeah,
absolutely. So looking at the players, Salah is the most expensive player. Not surprising, 14.9. Then it's the City mids of De Bruyne at 14.4, Grealish 14.2, Foden 14.1. So not much in it between those 3. Still think Foden is the standout option for City. I know he missed a penalty, played 45 minutes, but I expect him to come back into the side. Then it's Mane, 13.6, Gabriel Jesus actually is 13.7. Then Mane 13.6, and then Jota's down there 13.4, and then Mason Mount 13.2. So he's had a massive increase. So it's Liverpool and City that are dominating really. Who's your kind of top picks for this week? Who's the ones that you're kind of thinking we can't go without? I'm guessing Salah is in, right?
And I think Trent was in the same breath as that as well. I think Trent's 10.5 or something like that. I think that's a great price for Trent Alexander-Arnold this week. To be honest, he's looked absolutely fantastic again in recent weeks. The thing is about these three fixtures, I think there's some chance in all three that the other team actually scores. So I don't think you need to go too heavy on the defences of Chelsea, City, and Liverpool this week. What do you think about that? Is the one in particular you think, they'll concede? I think, or you fancy or whatever?
I can't see Palace scoring against City. I think Palace will set up well and they'll have a good game. But I think out of the three, I think they're the least likely ones to score. I think Brighton showed in the second half against City that we can play quite well and create chances. And I think Chelsea as well against Newcastle. In fact, Newcastle at home, they're gonna, the fans are gonna be right behind them to be getting at them. And yeah, I mean, I can see clean sheets in all three, but if I'm picking one for the clean sheet, it'll be City.
Interesting, yeah. Maybe we take a rain check on Trent then for now. I mean, he's still a great pick. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but he's quite expensive. I mean, I think the way I was building my teams this week, I think you need to find a budget defense to double up on. The three names I want to say are, I really think the Brentford Burnley game will be very tight. Actually, I think that'll be a really tight game. And then the other one is Leeds away at Norwich. I think they were really well priced this week, considering Norwich can't score for toffee at the moment. So yeah, what do you think out of those three? Is the one that sticks out of those, or?
Yeah, I mean, the Norwich Leeds game obviously is a great looking game for Leeds on paper. I guess it just depends who's available. I mean, Rafinha's 10.3. I like Gelhardt at 9. I think he's someone that is going to fly massively under the radar. He's looked fantastic in the minutes that he's got, and I wonder if he's going to be given a start in that. I guess the problem is you don't have the safety net of anyone coming in, but
he's a striker on the game. That's interesting.
Yeah,
actually,
he's a striker. He's someone that I might have in my own one. Not necessarily saying we go for him in this, but he might be a bit of a level player. Rafinha at 10.3 though looks a good option if he plays. And I guess you do have the safety net if he doesn't, of Harrison coming in, who should start. So I'd say we probably grab Rafinha even though he's quite highly priced.
Definitely, I like Rafinha. I think against Norwich, there's no limit to how good it could be. You know what I mean? If Leeds have a particularly good game and Norwich have a particularly bad game, I think, you know what I mean? The way he plays, he's so involved in everything. I think it's a really nice pick at 10.3, is it?
10.3.
Yeah, that looks good to me.
Yep. Just some comments from the chat. Imtiaz Ahmed says, Havertz captain anyone? His turn to get that hat-trick now. This is the beauty of FanTeam. The beauty of FanTeam, it's a sort of a bit of a curse of FanTeam, because I found it I had quite a few Havertz captains in some of my squads last week, but I don't think Havertz is a bad option. I didn't think he was a bad option last week. I don't think he's suddenly a bad option this week. I think if you are behind and you're looking for a player to try and boost you up, you can take a bit of a punt with these, and the dailies as well give you an opportunity to have a bit of a punt on someone. So if I'm picking a Chelsea mid for 1 week, I'm sticking with Havertz, I think. What's your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think I'd go Havertz still out of all of them this week, out of the Chelsea mids. I think he's out of position. It's what we want. We want the player who's the midfielder who's playing up front at the end of the day. And 1 week, it's going to be a really big score, I think. So you just got to hope it's this week, right?
12.6 for Havertz this week.
That's much better than Mount's price, I think. I know Mount was the one who got all the points last week, and it looks like he's on pens when Jorginho's not playing.
Missed two now. Missed two.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
I was talking to Gianni yesterday, and he was saying Reece James might be in line for one if Jorginho's not on the pitch.
That's interesting.
Apparently, James is a very good penalty taker and scored his final one, in the cup. Interesting. If Reece James, I swear to God, if Reece James steps in and takes a penalty, I'll be dancing around the living room. I really will. So at the moment we've got Trent, Salah, Rafinha, and Havertz. We've gone pretty pricey. Is there any kind of more budget players that you like? Look, I swear to God, Josh, if you say Sarr, I'm gonna come over there and slap you.
So the two, as this is the reason why I asked you about the Brighton, Palace, and Newcastle sort of, which was your preference of those attacks, if anything, because I think that's where we have to go for our budget this week because they are so cheap. I think if you want all these premium assets, which I do, by the way, I think this is like a really good start to the team. I think you got to find one. So I like Sir Maximin and Wilson personally. I think if anyone could get a goal in that game, it's going to be one of those two. I think they're 6.5 and 6.6. So you can sort of take your pick of one of those, I think, and they only need a goal to justify that price. You know what I mean? And if they do, they're sort of enabling the rest of our team. So
let's go for Callum Wilson. Because I
think Callum Wilson has looked amazing in the last few weeks. Honestly, I think he looks back to his best. So
because I think really, if we're picking players from Chelsea, City, and Liverpool, we're picking Salah, Havertz, and Foden, right?
Yeah,
3 mids. So I think we can afford to lose a striking spot to Wilson. Yeah, I like that. That's a good option. Let's just take a look at the fixtures again. I mean, what's your thoughts on like Spurs United? Do you think maybe a Spurs player might be an option?
Yeah, I mean, they were a little bit priced up this week compared to other weeks where, like, because I know in previous weeks I've picked Kane and Son when they've had like a semi-tough fixture. I think they're actually more expensive this week than they were last week, which quite surprised me because they had West Ham last week and they've got United this week. But it seems like the algorithms like adjusting to the fact that United aren't actually that good defensively or something. Yeah. They just have looked awful for ages now.
Kane 8.8. Son is 9.1.
I still like Antonio at 9.7. I mean, against that Villa defence with a full rest again, I think that's a better price than Kane's price at 9 million. To be honest,
I agree. I think Antonio's a good pick. I like the look of Creswell this week as well. He's 7.2.
That's a good price. Yeah, we can have that definitely. I think that's one I've missed actually. So I think I like that price.
Villa are weak from set plays, very weak. So if we saw a Creswell Antonio double up again, then I quite like it. Okay, what about in goal?
I think I like the Leeds double up, if anything, like against the Norwich team again, like Meslier and one of the defenders of your choice. Really, I haven't got a strong opinion on which defender to pick, but maybe Firpo if he's fit.
Yep.
And you get the safety net underneath him, so it's not a problem if he doesn't play for whatever reason. So.
Yep, absolutely. And then we need one more player, but we've got 3 million, so we're not going to do it.
Yeah, we got to lose a premium. I was just about to say we've just got too much in the midfield. I think we got a bit too hungry in the midfield, but
we did.
If we can sort of get it to like 7 million on the last slot, I'm sure there's a defender we can put in. So we could maybe even double the West Ham defence as the route and just back Villa not to score kind of thing. I don't know. Like, it just depends who we downgrade. Who are you most willing to lose out of Salah, Havertz, and Foden? Do you think?
That's the question, isn't it? Which one of those three? I mean, losing Salah gives us like a differential spot, right? Because everyone's going to have Salah, so you're kind of hoping that he doesn't perform. But realistically, I think he is going to perform again. It would probably be Havertz for me, I guess, out of those three. I think Salah and Foden are standout options. So yeah, I think it's probably Havertz I'd lose.
I think so. And who I would suggest as a Havertz replacement is, I think Everton are a little bit cheap this week, including Richarlison, who obviously came off the bench and scored immediately last week.
7-7.
I think that's a lovely price. That saves us the 5 million. That gets us up to like an 8 million mid now. You know what I mean? If we want to do that.
7-9.
Yeah, 7-9 seems perfect. I'm just gonna have a look at the list. I don't know the 7-9 assets off by heart, but I'm sure.
Come on, Josh.
I'm sure there's some good ones.
Well, we got Bergwijn, Westwood, Livramento's there at 7-8. If we want to go,
that. I think Livramento is the one, isn't it? I think that's perfect.
Boom. There you go. 4-3-3. Meslier, Trent, Creswell, Firpo, Livramento, Salah, Rafinha, Foden, Wilson, Antonio, Richarlison. I
really like this team actually. In the end,
good.
It's a shame about Havertz, but other than that, I think it covers the main bases. This one does for sure.
Captain?
It's Mo Salah for me, mate.
Gotta be. And Vice?
You just want someone who's nailed to play, really. So Antonio's had a full rest. I think he's probably very, very likely to play, and it's a really good fixture still, I think. So, yeah.
The Vice captain on this, is it... Because on some of them, it's 0.5 points, isn't it? Extra. But on this,
it's the same as FPL. This vice captain works. It's the same as FPL. Yeah. So just if your captain doesn't play, you get your vice captain.
Fine. Okay, so we'll go for Antonio on that. Yeah, I like it.
Very good, mate. I really like this
Very
team,
good.
actually.
In this team, boom, we're in. Oh, we're going to win something one day. I'm sure we will.
Did you see how good Livramento looked last week, by the way? As a
Oh
side
yeah,
note,
I
I have
know.
never seen a fullback put in a good performance like that for one of the like cheaper teams for a very, very long time. He had about 5 shots.
I know. Hit the post just before he scored. Just all round, and then the comments after the game, like we want him to get more goals. He's hungry, He's absolutely fantastic. We were looking at the 4 million options at the start of the season. There was always these question marks around. We had like Omar Bembadeli that some people were going for, and Livramento and Shane Duffy and all that. But Livramento is just he's like he's for my FPL team. He's now every week. I'm thinking I need to start this guy.
Yeah, it's an interesting mentality. I'm still just about happy to have him first bench, but I've got quite a few Chelsea players, so I'm always thinking one of them is going to miss out every week, and I'll just get him on every week. You know what I mean? But he has looked so good, and this week is a really good fixture again. So
yep,
yeah,
no, he's in 7.8. He was a perfect price for us. Let's take a look at some of the other teams that you sent me. So you sent me this one with Pope in goal and Tarkowski, so the double up on Burnley against who are Burnley playing? They're playing.
Brentford, mate.
Brentford, yes, interesting. Interesting you're backing Burnley defence in that. Then you've gone Bednarek and Livramento, very cheap in defence. Townsend, Mane, Salah, Grealish, Wilson, Antonio, and Hwang. I mean, this is a very, interesting selection. This is a real differential, right?
We agreed on Wilson at least. No, I think we got some the same here. Obviously, we got Livramento. I was glad when he was like the last slot you suggested because I really like them this week. I think even though Watford obviously scored the 5 goals, it was a very unusual game, I'd say, last week. And Southampton have looked largely okay defensively. I mean, Burnley's second goal last week was an absolute rocket, literally. It was like a freak goal that won't happen every week. But yeah, I like Wilson's price, as I said. We had Salah and Antonio. Grealish, I think I was sort of alternating between Grealish and Foden in each team that I've built so far. So this one happened to have Grealish. That could easily be Foden, though, I think. I think they're both really good. The same with Hwang and Jimenez, actually. So Jimenez is 9.6 and Hwang is 9.7. I'm sort of undecided on that one. I really like both. So I've sort of been putting like half and half of those two in the teams where I've gone for a Wolves striker, you know what I mean? So I think either could do really well this week. And then the Burnley defence, I was tempted on the Brentford defence. Like I said, I think it's a low scoring game, but the keeper being out for Brentford is a big factor for me.
Yeah.
I think he's played so well this season. I have no information on how good the reserve goalkeeper is. I just feel safe with Burnley.
I can give you one bit of information on him.
Oh, go on then.
He has 1 cap for Spain.
Oh, does he?
He does. Yeah,
that's wild.
I found that out as well. Maximum excitement, as someone once said. Yeah, he's one cap for Spain. He's by all accounts a good solid keeper, but Raya, it's not just defensively, not just save wise. It's the way he sets up attacks as well. He's like an Edison Light. So good with his feet. So good at passing the ball around. It's an absolutely huge miss for Brentford. But they won in the cup last night with some key players missing. Tony, did well, got an assist and a goal. Hopefully, Mbomo's going to be back. Yeah, I think it's a miss, but hopefully they can adapt and carry on from where they left off. They've been superb this season.
I think, as I say, there's that little doubt on Mbuemo. I think he'll be okay from all the comments I've heard so far, but if he's not playing and Raya's missing, I think then I really quite fancy the Burnley defence, I think. And we know how Burnley set up. They're so reliable to keep the score down, if nothing else, you know what I mean? So I think that some cleans will come for them, and we just need to sort of get lucky with which week it is that happens, because it could come against a number of teams, I think. So maybe it's this week.
Yep, absolutely. Going back to the chat, a couple of questions. Kamal asked, should I captain Kane? What do you think? I personally think this is a good game for Spurs. I think Spurs will win against United. I just can't see how United can bounce back from that 5-0 drubbing against Liverpool. I just, we saw it with Villa. They lose that game against Wolves in the last 10 minutes. Spirits are down. I was kind of thinking, oh, maybe they're going to bounce back and win that. And then they just get absolutely destroyed by Arsenal, on last week. I know sometimes it's Southampton are a team that can bounce back from quite heavy defeats, but you got to think in that United dressing room, there's so many egos in there. They're going to be sore. And Pogba's out, and it's going to be McTominay and Fred again in the middle. And Spurs aren't that good, but I think Spurs can get at them. But I just don't trust Kane. at all.
I mean, if we're obviously looking for indicators going into a game to like pick someone for the captain. I mean, Spurs have looked dreadful and Kane has looked even worse than the team as a collective. Like, I think in a weekly game like this one, like we play the Monster, obviously, I don't think it's a bad punt because it will. Not many other people will have Harry Kane as captain. So if he does have one of his big games, you could go miles ahead of the field, literally. But I prefer the 3 fixtures we talked about: the Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City. I think their players are better captains this week, and I also think Antonio is a better captain this week, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I completely agree. I don't want Kane anywhere near any of my teams. You know, he just doesn't look right. He's going through the motions. Just looks so off the pace. If you're going to pick one for captain this week, I'll go for Son. If you have to pick a Spurs player, for example. Paul Fans talks about Livramento, says that he should be starting every game in our FPL teams. Yeah, I agree at the moment. The fixtures do turn quite hard soon, but against Watford, you've got to think he's going to get something again. I'll be starting him this week. He's a great pick. Billy G, tripled up on City for this game week. Foden captain, Silva, Bernardo Silva, and Cancelo. I love the Bernardo Silva pick. I think he's flying massively under the radar on FPL and probably on FanTeam as well. He's playing 90, delivering points. Great option, right?
We haven't talked about Cancelo this week for the weekly either. I think he's a great pick as well. I think he just looks incredible. His goal's going to come. Like, hopefully it's not in the cup again or something, but like he's going to get a goal at some point. He's so advanced, and you just got to hope you have him the week where he gets the haul kind of thing. You know what I mean? And there's no like weird thing where he's subbed off on 55 minutes or something silly. So yeah, he looks fantastic. I think that's a nice triple up.
Yep, absolutely. OMT asks how you're getting 250 payout for being 1,410. You always get this question, don't you? It's duplicate teams. So multiple. Yeah,
so I've got 5 entries of that team that's at 1,400. So that's why it's 5 times 50 basically. So it's £50 for each one, and I've got 5 entries of it. So yeah. It's my favourite question.
It is. I know you love that one. Leslie Kibbert just says hi there. Check Josh. FF.
Hello, sir. This is someone who I talk about FPL with every week. So yeah, it's nice to see you in the chat.
I didn't get a hello, but yeah, hi from me as well. Pranjal asks, is this team for the weekly monster? Yes, it is. That's what we mostly talk about on these streams. We do a bit of the season-long stuff, but yeah, mostly focus on the weekly. Phil Clayton says, if you're looking at some cheap options, Trossard at 5.4, Olise at 5.3. Yeah, I like those. Trossard. Oh, he's such a frustrating player to watch. He had a bad game against City, I thought. I just don't trust him to get returns other than, you know, that 1 week where it was the greatest moment of my life. But consistently, I like Olise at 5.3. Those two were on I had a 6-man shortlist of like 2 players from Brighton, 2 from Palace, 2 from Newcastle, and both of those were on my list with Wilson and Sir Maximin. So it just depends which team you fancy most to score, which is why I asked you that first, because if someone in the chat, for example, really fancies that Brighton will score away at Liverpool, I think Trossard's a great option. I think Mopé is not a bad option as well, actually, because that's a likely source of a goal, you know what I mean, for Brighton. I mean, that's just my opinion, but they're just so cheap that if they enable the rest of your team and you get loads of premiums in, then I'm all for it, to be honest, as long as you don't sort of play a Brighton attacker against a Liverpool defender, you know what I mean, stuff like that. So yeah, just be wary of that one. Yeah. You need to be. It's all or nothing with this. There's no mitigating. You even need to really go for it. That's what you do with the double ups in defence, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're aiming for upside. You're trying to shoot for the moon basically and get like 100 points. Like, I think that's the way to think about it. Like, I think on your monster team, you should think, can this team get 100 points? And if you're playing 2 Liverpool defenders against a Brighton attacker, then you're reducing your chances of getting to that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I've had a couple of questions about the season game, which I'll answer in a bit. Kai Hu says, when we talk about proper fantasy football, is this proper fantasy football? Kind of. But if you're looking for official FPL stuff, then this just isn't the stream for you. I don't know why you've come on a FanTeam stream. We won't be talking about the official game because this is a FanTeam podcast. So yeah, if you're interested in the official stuff, Josh doesn't do those. He's not good enough. So
not very good at that. Yeah, I was going to say.
So he's only here for the FanTeam. What else we got? Wing L says Cornet. Good pick. Cornetto.
He got his 2 goals last week, and he's listed as I know he's a midfielder on all the games, but he's very much listed as in a 4-4-2 as one of the strikers last week when they were playing. So again, out of position. I think it's a decent fixture this week against Brentford. As I say, we're a bit unsure on the goalkeeper and how he will immediately fit into the Brentford setup. So, if this week's as good as any to target him, I think. I was looking at Chris Wood, actually. I just think he's so reliable. But again, that upside thing we were talking about, I'm not sure Chris Wood's ever going to get 3 goals in a fixture like this. I think Brentford are a bit too tight for that to happen. But maybe if he was playing Norwich or Watford, it might be a different story and a different discussion, I think.
Cornet's the one to go for, I think, if you're thinking, worried about
Definitely.
Raya and defence. Yeah, he's the one to get. Let's talk about your second monster team then. Again, Burnley defensive double up again. You're really backing. I think Brentford score in this game. I'm not too sure about this double up. Potent Tarkowski and then double Liverpool. Trent and Robertson, Townsend. Man, you're a big fan of Townsend. I love these weekly ones where you send me these teams. You've always got a random player in it like Townsend. Salah, Foden, St Maximan, Antonio, Richarlison, and Jimenez. I'm Townsend's in, I guess, because he's cheap. And this one's got the double Liverpool defense with Salah. I like this team actually. Apart from double Burnley.
I was just trying to do something a bit different with this one because my general strategy this week is to go a bit cheaper at the back, I think. But I wanted to do one with the double Liverpool defence just to show you do have to have the likes of Townsend in there if you're sacrificing the money at the back, and putting more into that. So Maximin Wilson, I'm a bit closer on it than you are. I think I really like both actually. So I've gone for St Maximin in this one. I've already talked about Richarlison. I think that this team is basically backing Wolves Everton to be a really high scoring game. If you look at it with the 3 attackers from that game, I think that's very possible. I know this game has been 3-2 a couple of times in recent history. So I think it's very much on the table if there's an early goal again. So again, it's just all about finding that one game that's got the goals in, and then with your defense, finding the 2 clean sheets, you know what I mean? And I think that's 3/4 of the way there to getting a huge, huge score, I think. So yeah, I'm hoping this team does well anyway. And I've got Foden in instead of Grealish, which I'm sure you're happy about in this one.
Yeah, Grealish. I love Grealish as a player, but I'm not convinced at the moment he's going to deliver regularly in FPL wise. I think Foden is, I can talk about Foden all day. I think he's absolutely superb. Great option in everything, every game, FanTeam, FPL, weekly monsters, Champions League, whatever. I just think get him in. Okay, let's turn our attention back to the season-long game. Let's have a look at our team. 15k, terrible. Our team is Backman and Foster, Azpilicueta and Christensen, both who missed out, and Tierney, who also missed out. So our back 3 didn't even play. Zaha, did he play? Can't even remember.
He came off the bench. He came off the bench.
Fantastic. Mane, Salah, Gray, Antonio, Tony, and we've still got Ronaldo stinking up the place. And then we had no bench. I mean, we had Veltman, who got minus whatever it was. Ward-Prowse, who was being suspended. And Ayling as well.
We have none out of 5 defenders play this week. That is phenomenal going on. I mean, that is
we had one. We had Veltman play, who got minus points.
Oh, Veltman played.
So actually, it would have been better if we'd had no defenders play this week, which is quite impressive when you think about it. So I guess the question is, what do we do with this team going forwards? I mean, it's looking pretty grim, isn't it?
Well, the good news is I like the front 7 this week because we've obviously got Ward-Prowse who can come back in with the Watford fixture. I think that's a really good one. Maybe probably bench Zaha out of the front 7, I think.
I think so.
Aspilicueta and Christensen are still very much good picks. I think they were unlucky not to play. They've both got slight knocks, but I back at least one of them to start as a starting point. We need to make a defence transfer, don't we, really? I think it's that simple, isn't it?
We do. We've got 8.8 in the bank. I mean, we can lose... Oops, that's the wrong team somehow. I mean, Ayling's probably got to go, isn't he? It's probably about time we got rid of him.
Yeah, I mean, at least Veltman's back playing now, I suppose, is the good thing. I mean, he's been back for a couple of weeks, I know, but I got rid of him when he first got injured, I think. So I've got more of the Webster problem still to deal with, I think. But even he came back last night, didn't he? Yeah. He scored last night, I think, didn't he?
He did. Yeah.
What a wild comeback. It's still on the wrong team. This isn't the same. I'm behind on the stream. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be.
Why did it open the wrong team? That's so weird.
I have no idea. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Duffy and Veltman and Lamptey and all these guys. I think Webster and Dunk are safe. I can't see how Webster doesn't play now. He's back and fit. He's very, very good on the ball. it's going to be that third position. Burns got an injury out now around him, which is probably quite good news for Duffy owners. But I imagine at some point we're going to see Lamptey come back in. I mean, he's looked really good when he's come on, really sharp. I've been worried that he's lost a bit of pace or isn't going to be getting forward and all that kind of stuff, but he looks razor sharp. So I don't think it's going to be long till he's first choice again. And then I think it's Veltman and Duffy battling it out for that centre-back position.
Yeah, I noticed Lamptey wasn't on the bench last night, which I found quite strange because
I thought he'd start. I thought he'd start that game.
He wasn't even in the squad. I was really surprised. I was like, has he had another setback? Because I'd have thought that was the kind of game he would play. Yeah, exactly. So that might be something to monitor again in terms of has something happened with him or something.
I think they're lining him up for a Premier League start.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, he had a great when he started last season. He was like incredible. Yeah. Literally, he played so well. But it takes a long time with these really serious injuries, doesn't it? So hopefully he can come back and be back to his best.
So 4.6, we've got.
Go on, sorry, man.
No, that's it. Just we've got 4.6 to get rid of Ayling, so we need to get a cheapie. We can't afford Livramento these days. He's too much.
I mean, there's just not much I like in this price bracket. Really, is the thing. We need to get someone who plays. Basically, is what we need.
Rico Henry 4.5. Don't mind that.
I don't mind that. Their fixtures are really good, so I'm happy with that. I think that's a good pick. Yeah.
Cool. Still no wild card. We can still use the wild card as well, but I think, like you say, our front seven's looking okay this week. I don't think we need to use it.
I mean, Tony and Antonio, if I was wildcarding right now, I'd have both of those in the front three. You know what I mean? I'd have Salah. I think I'd have Mane, actually, interestingly. The thing we're missing in this team is the defence, because, I mean, Gray and Ward, I think I'd have Ward-Prowse on wildcard right now as well, because he's got a few more good fixtures before they go bad. Yeah, I mean, of course I would. I wouldn't actually have Salah, I'll admit that. But I would have Ward-Prowse, I think. So yep. I think we're not far off with this. I don't think it needs a wild card at all. We just need to sort the defence over the next few weeks. And these two goalkeepers have really let us down in this particular team. I mean, they haven't got a single clean sheet. They haven't even come close to one, I don't think. No. So, that's been a real disappointment. But
and he's not making the saves, really. I mean, we kind of knew Watford would concede goals, but we thought the save points would kind of see him through, but it just hasn't happened. Our late reg team is Sarr, Van Dijk, Rudiger, Reguilon, Son, Salah. We went for Havertz captain. Not a good move. Gray, Vardy, Antonio, Tony. And then we got Webster on the bench, who's probably back now. Sarr and Ayling as well. Again, it's not. I mean, Vardy's fit. Reguilon has just not been a good pick at all. So again, I think it's probably another defensive move for us. I think we get rid of Ayling again in this one.
I think it's fine to do that. Yeah, just to cover the bench a little bit more. Like I'm not convinced Webster's going to play this weekend, given he played last night and he's just coming back. So maybe that's you know what I mean. Maybe he won't play. So you just need a bit of cover in defence, basically. Yeah. So again, how much have we got on this one?
That's a good question. My thing has just gone a bit weird. Let me find out. We've got. It's not loading. That's helpful. Oh, there it is. We got 1 million, so we got a bit more to play with.
I'd get Aspilicueta. I think seriously. I think 5.5 for him is still way too cheap. I think he's in line to play tomorrow, Saturday. Sorry. I think 5.5 for him, having an extra really good defender for any. I'm just confident playing Chelsea defenders in any fixture. You know what I mean? So I think just having him and just leaving him there is a really sensible thing to do. And if we need the bench, we need the bench some weeks. But I think he'll play most weeks. Yep,
5.5 for Aspilicueta. I like that. That's a good shout. I won't make those transfers now. I've learnt my lesson after the debacle of a few weeks ago. But I'll do those after we get the news from the press conferences.
Yeah, and on this one, I'd bench Reguilon. And I mean, my opinion is I'd captain Salah, but I know it's very boring and you know what I mean. But I think we saw the bad side of it last week. I don't know.
I'm tempted to leave on Havertz again.
I had a feeling you'd do that.
Given how badly it's performing, this team, feels like we need to go a bit different with it.
May as well just make it worse. Why not? Yeah, you know.
that's what I'm all about. No, I can switch it to Salah. That's no problem. I think that's pretty much it. We've covered everything. JC says Jansen is 4.6 and more attacking threat than Henry. Yeah, Henry's got good assist potential though, playing at wing back.
Did you say there was a few questions in the chat about the season-long game that was a bit further up?
Yes. Well, Anik asked, do I keep Ronaldo for one more week or sell him for Ivan Toney?
It's a lot of money.
It is, isn't it?
If I was doing Ronaldo to Tony, I would want to be using the money this week to do something with it. I think if you're gonna just like only do the one move, I would sort of wait till next week till you got two transfers, and then I would do a downgrade and an upgrade situation. I think. So I'd get in Son or Mane in midfield for one of your fodder mids or something and do it as like a double. As a 1 week, I think Ronaldo is still a better pick than Tony this week, given if money's no object.
Yep, no, good answer. And Caesar Junior says sell Vardy or keep. Well, the news is in that Vardy's fit and ready to go. So he's definitely.
I mean, I'd want him against Arsenal. He loves that fixture. It's like he normally gets a brace in that one.
He'll score, and he's got Leeds next.
Oh God, I think like this is why we got Vardy in, isn't it? Because I got him in loads of my teams. Like the fixture run is actually amazing for quite a bit, I think. So yeah, we've got a bit lucky with the injury, but at the same time, like he's definitely not a sell now. I don't think.
No. Keep definite hold for me.
Hopefully Rafinha's the same as well. Hopefully Rafinha's back as well.
Yeah, and he'll probably go off after 40 minutes again, like he normally does with a slight knock. That tends to be what he does. He's very frustrating. So good on his day, but just hasn't really been delivering, and injury doubts and all that. Not what you want to see. Josh, I think that's it for us this week. Thank you everyone in the chat. Loads of great comments today. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're here every week, mostly on Thursdays, unless I am awkward and tell us that we need to do a different day because of whatever reason. But yeah, Thursdays at 12 is the regular time for these videos. If you're listening on podcast as well, consider checking in YouTube as well. Check us out, and yeah, we have a nice small crowd watching, about 100 people live in these usually. So yeah, we enjoy taking all the comments and hearing from you all. Josh, I will see you next week. Good luck with your teams going forward. And yeah, take it easy.